A new contract for Nuno is on the horizon. Chelsea wanted Murillo, and Nuno said no to more players. Welcome to your latest Forest news. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to your latest Forest news. And my voice is nearly back-ish. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new here. And if you want to help support us and get additional exclusive videos, be it on transfer, be it on Forest breaking news, everything else like that, if you can support us on Patreon, please do. It's £10 a month. We want to go full time here, but you can sign up for free as well. There's chat rooms in there and everyone's busy talking all Forest. So scan the QR code or click on the link that's pinned in the comments. All right, we got a lot to talk about. So we will do separate videos on the new players that Forest have signed. We'll give you the background information and everything on that. But really the question off the back of everyone's lips from yesterday was, why no striker, Forest? What's going on? Well, we have some answers on that. And more importantly, new talks with Nuno are about to begin on contract negotiations. He currently has about 18 months left on his deal. And Forest are very happy with the job that Nuno Espirito Santo is doing at the City Ground, and they want to extend that further. How do I feel about that? I'm happy with that, I guess. But it's always the thing with managers, when you think about it deeply, when they are doing well, the contract gets extended, and then if they end up doing rubbish, then they get terminated and the club ends up paying more money. But at the same time, you have to protect your asset, because if Nuno carries on the way he's going to be in demand. And then if someone wants him, then Forest don't get compensated. You know, it's one of those cycles. So 100% is the right thing to do, especially off the back of what he's done this season. So that's the talk on Nuno. I don't think those contract negotiations will happen until the summer. I think Nuno's more focused on getting things sorted on the pitch and making sure Forest can finish as high as they possibly can. But there's a lot to discuss. There's been a cracking article done by John Percy in The Telegraph, which outlines a lot of interesting things. The first thing I want to touch on is this whole story about Murillo. Now, we know he's been linked left, right and centre with clubs, but in this window at the beginning, Chelsea came sniffing around. And Nuno had sat down with Marinakis both before the transfer window opened and during. We told you there was a meeting last Wednesday where a lot of discussions happened. Now, the objective from that meeting, when they were talking about the transfers, was that the number one priority is to keep and retain the players that Nuno wants. That being the likes of Murillo, Morgan Gibbs-White, Elanga involved in that as well, Chris Wood, etc. And Marinakis was like, all right, man, that's what you want, we'll get it done. Hence, we saw the new deal coming from Murillo, a new deal for Wood. And as far as we believe, there's been an extended contract triggered already on Einar that pushes it forward for another year. Now, I'm still not a fan of that, because I want a longer contract for Einar, but he ain't going anywhere. He won't be under a Bosman currently. I have not had that confirmed from the club, but I've had loads of kind of reports and messages and things about that. So that was objective number one in terms of what they wanted. Now, here's the interesting part. Marinakis told Nuno that funds are available if he wants to strengthen, because Marinakis is a winner. Marinakis wants to continue to succeed. And it's Nuno that's saying, you know what, I like what I've got. I like working with a small squad. And that has been his mantra pretty much throughout his career. He likes a squad of about 18 to 22 players, like the core squad, if you like, that he wants to work with. And he doesn't like causing imbalance. Now, who am I to argue with that? Because I do want shiny new toys. I personally look at this and think we are in a position of power, sitting third in the league. After Saturday, we were level on points and second with Arsenal. So we were in a position of power. And my biggest kind of rebuttal to this is what if this doesn't continue next season? What if Forest find themselves in Europe next season, be it Champions League, Europa League, whatever it might be, and then in the league we start to drop off? Where's our position of power gone then? Yes, we would still have Europe, but it's not going to be that big a draw if we're not doing as well in the league. So strike while the iron's hot, as the saying goes. That's my rebuttal to it. But I'm not really arguing with Nuno so much. What I will argue with on is the backup striker. Now, there was a heated debate, as always, on the transfer deadline day yesterday, talking about what if Wood gets injured. And I am in absolute agreement with that. Yes, we have Taiwo as backup, but Taiwo currently on his form is completely lacking in confidence. And if, God forbid, Chris Wood got injured, do any of you trust Taiwo to suddenly magically overnight find his form, find his fitness, find a first touch? So for me, I think that's something that was missed. Now, what we do know is that Vissa was #1 priority on Nuno's hit list because of his versatility, because he could play it across the front line, he could play up front. But when that from Brentford was declined in terms of the offer Forest put, Nuno was saying, well, that's my #1 target. Let's revisit it in the summer. So the expectation now is that come the summer, Forest are going to go back in for Vissa. And he's going to be 6 months older, getting closer to 30. And again, I'm not convinced, but time will tell on that one. He will obviously have less left on his contract. I think he had 18 months as things stand. So he'll be down to a year in the summer. So that's one that may be coming up in the summer. We've heard similar stories on Yilmaz as well, the winger, Turkish winger. That's potentially another one that's kicked to the summer. But there is a discussion about this whole Chris Wood thing, and there is now a lot of pressure, and this was noted in the article by John Percy, for Chris Wood to stay fit for the next 14 games. And it's not only staying fit, it's staying in form as well. That's what I would add to what Percy was saying. Because if Chris Wood was to fall out of form, again, God forbid, then what's the alternative? The discussion yesterday was all about fitness. But form can come and go with a striker. We saw it when he first joined Forest. There was no signs of goals coming from him. And this is where I feel Forest may come slightly undone this season. Now, when I say undone, I'm not saying Forest go from third to a relegation battle overnight. But potentially we could lose out on Champions League football, end up with Europa or Conference. You could end up with nothing. Who knows? But do you get my point? Because then suddenly if Chris Wood gets injured or goes out of form and we tag Taiwo in, now there's a reliance on him to find form. And that's where the balance just feels a little bit off. So I get what Nuno's saying. He wanted Vissa as his #1 choice from Brentford, but you have to have option 2 and option 3. Look, the article in itself is fascinating. What I loved about it was the disappointment about drawing with Liverpool, because that's exactly how I felt. Happily disappointed, I think I said after the Liverpool match. And Marinakis himself was very disappointed. And that to me still underlines why I say, and I still have not been corrected on this, that he is the best owner in the Premier League. The way he loves the club, the way he wants to advance the club, the way he's invested in the club, the way that it's almost his everything right now. Show me an owner like him with the money he has and the lengths and extremes that he's prepared to go to make Forest successful. And if he's feeling a draw with Liverpool is disappointing, that tells you where his head's at. And I absolutely love it. So more of the same from Marinakis. We are so lucky to have him. So those are the kind of main headlines from that. There was talks in the article about Elanga. They were expecting potentially another approach from Newcastle and what have you. That didn't materialize. And obviously then the 2 players that we signed in on loan. The player we got from Reading who we loaned back out in terms of Bindon, and then the loanee as well, the youngster who Man City will get 20% off. So we'll break those down in separate videos. My question to you guys is, how are you feeling about Nuno contract extension? Do you think it's the right move for Forest? I know it's a bit of a dumb question, but you are welcome. Maybe some of you don't agree. Let me know in the comments down below. And are Forest taking a massive risk by praying and hoping that Chris Wood stays fit and in form? Should we have got a backup striker? That's the hot debate right now. I'm looking forward to seeing your comments down below. As always, if you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And we will see you on the next episode. But get your comments in. And if you can support us on Patreon, much love to you. Check out all the supporters on the end screen now.